Guys, Kyle here, Underground at Underground Card Zone. I'm tired and it's early, but I'm back in session. Do some math and some numbers and the truth about allocations. So, opened my shop November of 2020. About a year later, Evolving Skies came out. Let's talk about allocations and where I was at for allocations for Evolving Skies. This was just a good reference point because I had been open for a year, all right? So, this is what we got. You ready for this? After a year of running a trading card game, 8 boosters, booster box, 4 ETB, 8 booster boxes, 4 ETBs, a year of being open. So at that time, I had promised MSRP for everything I was dropping. Anything I got from distro, I sold at MSRP. And honestly, I couldn't even sell the booster boxes at MSRP. I think wholesale was $86, $86 wholesale at the time. I think I was selling for about 110. So what is that? $26 profit? 26 times $204 in profit. Wholesale was like 26. MSRP was 40. I mean $14 times 4. $6. All right. Shout out to the distro. I made 260. Made $260 off my Evolving Skies allocations after a year of being open. Now, Evolving Skies crashed there for a while, which is crazy to think that's a $2,500 box now, but it crashed for a while. I was able to get more after that, but $260 didn't pay my rent. At the time, my location was super cheap. It was a really rundown, hole in the wall place, $700 a month for rent. That was my second shop. My first shop was only $450 a month, but it was big enough to have one display case, one shelf, a couple small 2-people tables. It was very tiny, 400 square feet, something like that. That's where I started. Started out a shop small. Started with no money. Started with $8,000. Now, the issue with that is I wasn't able to do what I'm able to do now. It took me a long time to get here. So capital is important. If you start small, it will take years to get to where you're at. Where do you want to be? I'm not where I want to be. I'm happy with where I'm at. I feel like I've done a lot, done well. I've grown a lot. My employees are great. I have a Roka. I'm doing things now, starting to make a dent in the world, but I'm so far off from where I want to be. But I always aspire to do better, be greater, right? With that being said, 1 year in business, booster boxes, 4 ETBs wholesale. I was living large. Fast forward to today. So, like I said, I wasn't doing a lot in sales at the time. I think probably 10 grand a month, maybe 14 grand. And it was me and one other person working. And what crazy. And it took me a while to get to even that far. My first few months, I was doing $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month. My third month ever, February, it started in November. My third month, February, I did $600 in sales the whole month. I almost gave up then. And I was like, no, I want to do this. I want to do this. I opened this shop because I love Yu-Gi-Oh! And then obviously Pokemon and Magic's the breadwinners of the house, right? But at the end of the day, I knew I needed Pokemon to survive. And then I started trying to build my allocations. I started actually getting some product. Well, guess what? Pokemon died. And I couldn't even sell the stuff for MSRP, not even ETBs. MSRP went to $50. Boom, dropped to 40. Couldn't even sell them. I rate this. We're going to talk about allocations now. Now that I've grown up, now that I'm a big boy, I've spent $350K this year at distro. $350,000. What kind of allocations does spending $350,000 to? Let's see. Take a guess. Probably something crazy, right? 30th anniversary? About guys. 100 ETBs. Yeah. I'm pumped. Triple digit ETBs. I only had to spend $350K to get there. So it takes a lot. Because the 350K, you're like, man, you're probably getting these like crazy restocks. Crazy restock? Not necessarily. 350K spend has a lot to do with a lot of stuff that I can break even on, stuff I take a loss on, stuff just to spend money to get allocations, right? Stuff like a pallet of top loaders and penny sleeves, Dragon Shield. I placed an order for $8,000 for the Ultra Pro binders. You know what's crazy about that? Is binders were such a slow mover in store that I would order beforehand, order one of each color to just have enough. And then when the week came and I was like, oh, I'm out of red and green and pink, I would order red, green, and pink, right? But now I have so much backstock. I have a whole big rack dedicated to binders alone because I wanted Pokemon. Because they're like, hey, we can do a restock. You need to spend this much on supply. I've done so many supplies orders, ridiculous. Top loaders, I ordered so many top loaders with penny sleeves. I was like, okay, this next time I'm gonna order Dragon Shields. Ordered so many Dragon Shields. Actually, no, I think I started with Dragon Shield. Orders 10 of each color for the Japanese standard, which adds up quickly. It might have been 20 of some colors, 30 of some colors. I picked the better selling ones I ordered more of. So I did that. And I ordered top loaders and penny sleeves. And then I ordered the binders. And then the one with like deck boxes. I did cases of each color of deck box and cube boxes, satin cubes or whatever for Commander. And then I did playmat tubes. The playmat tube actually was a huge spend because I think I spent like $100 on a case of playmat tubes. I built my supplies up, which is funny because used to people would be like, do you have any more of this? And I'd be like, no, what I have out is out when it comes to supplies, but now I have a complete backstock of supplies. So I don't even know how many thousands of dollars I've spent on supplies this year. Let's see. I bought play boosters and commander decks to break down for singles because you cannot sell them fast enough to buy them and sell them as deck or as booster boxes. And it builds up my singles, right? But $350K to get 102 ETBs. What are people spending to get 1,000 ETBs? Because this is going to be gone. 30th anniversary ETBs, day or two. I know the market is crazy. I probably won't be MSRP because that's what $350K to get there. A lot of people want MSRP, and I want MSRP. You know why I want MSRP? Because if stuff's selling at MSRP, I don't have to buy a pallet of top loaders and carry them down, put them on a shelf. I want MSRP. The allocations are weird, right? They're as weird as I am fat, which is pretty freaking weird. And I think a lot of people are questioning, like, how do you get allocation? How much do you need to spend at distro to raise your allocation? And that's the question we all want to know. Because what spend equals how many new products, right? What spend equals how many? Because no sales rep at any distro will say what's what. They don't tell you how much to spend. They just say, spend more, you'll get more, spend more, you'll get more. And then the Wizards or Pokemon or somebody will say, hey, you know, this set coming out, we print less. Don't know why. Who knows? I think a lot of the companies are printing less because they see what kind of demand Pokemon gets. So they're trying to build their demand. So product don't fall flat. So wholesale price of the Universe Beyond booster after the credit card fee and the 3% credit card fee, shipping, handling, whatever, it's $128, $129. Let's say $129 a play box, right? And market's $113 a play box at release. That's a problem. So maybe they're printing less. So when the release happens, it don't fall flat on its face and no one wants to buy it. How can I buy it for $128 and sell it for $113? And that's the problem we take too, as we order all this stuff 6 months ago. So we don't know if the product's going to be good, if it's going to be bad. But if you order less, then your spend goes down, which means the guy that ordered more is going to get more of the new good product. So Vending equals how many is so confusing. So yeah, I spend about, I've averaged out 40-ish thousand a month at distro spend. But the other issue is it's combined between multiple distros because some don't have one or one, like vice versa, certain things. Speaking of binders, right? I need more binders that have zippers on them, right? Only one of my distros still had it. Stop. Well, I guess one had one collar, but I was like, I need more than one collar. Zipper binders sold out. Okay. Found one that had them. So they got, or like a case of each, $600, whatever. But they got that $600 and my main distro didn't because they didn't have it. So now I'm sitting here thinking, well, $600 didn't go to my main distro. So 600 less spent on my main distro. I got 600 more spent on this other distro that's not my main distro. But are my allocations going to raise it all over there because it's only $600? Who knows? Who knows? We're all flying blind. Shops really don't know how much of what they're getting. And the day that we all get what we want is the day that that certain TCG crashes. And a lot of people request these huge numbers, and you see people saying, I'm only getting 3% of my allocation. Well, how many boxes did you order? Like, if you order 1,000 boxes and only got 30 ETBs, how much are you spending at distro? It's hard to tell because my main distro, I'm getting 30 ETBs from, and I spent, and the other ones I spent like 170,000 this year. So if you also spend the 170K, and you also get the 30 ETBs, that's a jumbled mess. Spend the 170K, you also get the 30 ETBs. That's what I got. The 170K spent was 30 ETBs for my main distro. Okay. So take it back now. You want 1,000 ETBs? 1,000 ETBs wholesale. What's that? Like $36,000? You even placed a $30,000 order this year for anything else? Because you have to buy the stuff they can't move, so you get the stuff that you can move. And it's like, have you spent 36,000 on a single order? I know my biggest order may have been 11,000 with them. So why are they going to trust that I can afford $36,000? Obviously, they need more than 30 ETBs. They look how much I've spent, knowing that I've spent $10,000 and $11,000 on a single order, and I spend at least five. I don't say at least 5,000 every week, but this week I only spent 1,400 with them. I don't know. You know, this is 3% of that. You spend 97% more than 170K, or is it just based on your spending for years and years? I don't know the answer, man. I really don't. I don't know what it means. All I know is you got to spend money, and you got to spend it weekly. And you got to figure out how to flip things that no one else is flipping, or that you know is a brick. How do you flip these things? I have so many top loaders, so many penny sleeves. I know Brian from Pokey, he's buying top loaders and penny sleeves like pallets too. And he's buying way more than I am. He got, I'm not going to say lucky, he got smart getting into the Japanese market when no one was in the Japanese market, especially during COVID. Very smart guy. I actually bought some Japanese boxes to sell during COVID, and I actually made good profit on them. But I had so little capital that I couldn't do what he did. And that's why capital is important, because you could potentially do what he did, or in that time, I could have did what he did if I had more capital. Maybe not to a T, maybe not exactly the same. He's very good at this marketing and these videos. But I knew that when I bought 5, 6, 7, 8 booster boxes of Japanese packs at $50 a piece or $40 a piece, I could sell them $4 or $5 back and make $120, $150 a box. But I wasn't big yet. It took me a long time to get big. I got big, the shop got big, we grew. But I don't even consider us big yet. You always aspire. You always want more. That's the human brain, is to always want more. So the truth behind allocations is no one knows. That's ultimately the answer. The answer is, I guess, spend more. Spend as much as you physically can, and hope that your bags are bigger than someone else's. Hope that you can spend more than some other people. Because if I spend 350K in a year and someone else spends 100K in a year, I'm obviously going to get blessed more than them because they see that I'm spending more money. But I know there's shops that spend $1 million, $2 million, $3 million at distro in a year, and I'm not there yet. Unfortunately, they're going to do better off than me. The weirdest thing was too, I see another guy that complaining about only getting 20 ETB booster boxes for the Death and Rivals reprint. And meanwhile, I got 75 ETBs and 29 booster boxes. But hard to tell. Maybe I spend more than him. I've been around longer than him. Maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. But I tell you what, it's a Death and Rival ETBs or 75 piece, and the booster boxes were 329. Some distros had it. You spend thousands of dollars of supplies. You got an original wholesale cost, but now you have 30 cases of top loaders with 20 cases of penny sleeve that you're going to sit on forever. And there's a lot of people are fire selling top loaders and penny sleeves right now. I am not. I do sell the top loaders pretty cheap at store. I think I'm at $2.99 for top loaders, $1 for penny sleeves, which a lot of people are at $5 for top loaders. I'm not going to fire sell cases for a loss online. I don't need to do that. I will have them because my idea is if I stock up enough, Pokemon dies, I won't have to order supplies until the next boom. I don't know, maybe. It's just a theory, right? Allocations require definitely spin, and history. How many shops have opened up recently in the last year, 2 years? I've been around for 6, or November makes 6 years. And I'm still new. I'm comfortable now. I feel like I know what I'm doing now. And I feel like I know what I'm comfortable doing. And I figured out all the outlets to move everything. But if you're only open for a year or two, even if you have a lot of capital, they're not going to give you the stuff because you have to build a reputation. You have to build a reputation. So it's pretty much reputation and money, right? Because someone, I don't know, I watch a lot of YouTubers. And someone said, hey, if I had $1 million to spend on Ascended, and they were like, hey, here's $1 million worth of Ascended, I would buy it because I knew I could flip it and double it, right? But that's not the case. It's just not out there. So heavy bag, long-term spend, long-term reputation. Do not cancel an order with distro. I made that mistake one time when Pokemon was dead. It was right before the boom. I canceled a whole Stellar Crown shipment. Felt like an idiot. And I learned my lesson. I shouldn't have done that. I can only imagine how much that could have hurt. But at the end of the day, you live and you learn. Don't cancel your shipments from distro. Even if they're bricks, sell them at a loss. I tell you how many Yu-Gi-Oh products I bought and sold at a loss. And now I'm getting 46 displays of Magnificent Monsters. And some shops are like, man, I'm only getting 4, 8, or 12, or 15. Yeah, it's the first Yu-Gi-Oh set with serialization. But have you been buying every Yu-Gi-Oh set for the last 5 years? Because I have. At the beginning, I started off slow. I was like one case. Didn't have a lot of money. I started with no money. Then I ended up getting the 2 cases and 3 cases and 4 cases and 5, whatever. Heck, Megatins, I would go crazy on Megatins. I would buy enough Megatins to create a chair out of, because I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm always bullish on Yu-Gi-Oh, even though it sucks as a business owner to see that Yu-Gi-Oh is 4% of my entire sales. It sucks because I love it, but I always put a lot of money into it. And sometimes I do mass openings and sell the singles, but it sucks because I don't have a machine for that. Yu-Gi-Oh reprints everything. So machines struggle with it. Even the good machines struggle with it from what I've heard. It doesn't make sense. As a business, it doesn't make sense for Yu-Gi-Oh. There's a lot of money in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I figured that out. But it takes a lot of time with Yu-Gi-Oh. But anyway, my allocations for Magnificent Monsters I'm very happy with, because I guess they seen that it was like, hey, you're the idiot that's been buying Yu-Gi-Oh. You're the guy that bought all these cases of whatever, and we're blessing you now. It just is what it is. You have to show them that it's like a relationship, right? Asking for 1,000 ETBs is like asking them to marry you. If you ain't been around for years, they're not going to do it. But a lot of shops, a lot of these pop-up shops, I call them pop-up shops, all these shops that popped up over the last year or two, right? They all think they can open their store and get distribution, have access to all this product, make all this money. It's not the case. Like I said, I had 8 booster boxes and 4 ETBs allocated to me after a year of being open for a Pokemon set. Everybody thinks, well, yeah, duh, it was Evolving Sky. I said, no one gave a crap. That Moonbreon was $180. No one gave a crap. You guys just weren't there for it. You have to be there for it to remember that, right? I have that in my memory. No one cared, and I wasn't getting much of it. So what did I do? Oh, I bought a ton of Korean EV Heroes at the time. Sold it, made money on it because it was affordable. I could get it super cheap, and I bought so many that they were sending me custom posters from Korea for the EV Heroes. So that was cool. But at the end of the day, no one gave a crap about Evolving Skies. I still didn't get a ton of boxes. I think the first set I got a ton of boxes on was Paradox Rift, and it wasn't even a ton of boxes. It is to me, but to the overall span of what Pokemon it is, it wasn't a ton. At the end of the day, you have to spend money to make money, and you gotta figure out how to offload the crappiest crap. It's just how they do it at Distro. I don't know why, or I guess I know why, right? Because they want to sell all these other product lines, so they're going to try to push you on all these other product lines. Well, here we are now. How do you make more and more money? That's why Rob has those machines. He was using them to build his allocations. He did a ton of breakdowns. We break down so much crap. I broke down, I don't know how many cases of Commanders Saturday. Gotta run them all through the Roka still. That's kind of why I want that Fizz badge, just so you price sort stuff quicker. I am getting a Roka Sifter though. Who knows? But that's one way of doing it. But can you consistently spend $5,000-$6,000 buying booster boxes and commander decks to break down every week? And if you do that, you have the infrastructure for that, for the pulling, the packing. Are you gonna pull and pack hundreds of orders or do direct by yourself and break down and list all this stuff? I have a machine. I have a Roka. I have 2 employees that pull and pack. And I have 2 employees that put stuff online. So it's all infrastructure I built just to build allocation. And on top of that, all the openings get my player base, the soul rings, and the whatever else. I pulled so many WCs out of foundations. It's whatever. You get the stuff that your players need. And some of that stuff you put in case, you don't have to eat fees on. Cool. But at the end of the day, do you have the infrastructure built to do this? If you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. Wait till Pokemon selling for crap? Because are you really gonna buy cases of ETBs? Are you gonna try when no one wants Pokemon? Are you gonna spend $10,000 on ETBs and $10,000 on booster boxes? When you sell them on TCG Player, and make 80-cent profit on each one? Who knows? Maybe you have the money to do that. Maybe you can afford to buy all that new release, sell it for a loss, all your money back in a couple weeks, and just eat ramen for a couple weeks. Maybe that's what you do. Sometimes I go all in on releases and I'm like, man, I don't spend much in the next week or two, but I know I'll make my money back. Get your money up, not your funny up. But I don't know. I guess that was just a ramble of allocations suck. It's hard to get allocations. It's hard to get any of it right now. The Pokemon world's crazy. The Magic world's crazy. Spend more money. Stay at distro longer. Wait it out. Eventually, they'll start feeding you a little bit of this and that, a little bit of that. All right, guys. I'm going to get to work. I have to change the Roka out. It just got done. And I got to restock some Pokemon. Yeah, pretty much it. Take care, guys.